Hello, welcome to Math 1324. This is Chapter 10, Section 2, Example 6. And in this example, we want to graph the parabola and give its vertex, axis of symmetry, x-intercepts, and the y-intercept. Okay, so to do this, we again have 5 different parts to this. First, we want to graph. And I'll let you go ahead and begin by graphing it on the calculator, just typing it in. We want to find the vertex, the axis of symmetry, any x-intercepts it may have, and the y-intercept. Okay, so for this, let's see the calculator. We'll see the calculator here in just a little bit. Okay, so letter B, find its vertex. The vertex occurs, at least the x-coordinate of the vertex occurs at h equals negative b over 2a. That's a very important formula to memorize, that and the quadratic formula. So h equals negative b over 2a. In this case, a is 3, b is 18, and c is negative 3. A is the number in front of x squared, b is the number in front of x, and c is always this constant at the end. So plugging this stuff in, that gives me negative 18 over 2 times 3. Now 2 times 3 is just 6, so negative 18 over 6 is negative 3. That means that the x-coordinate of the vertex is negative 3. To get the y-coordinate, we simply plug in that negative 3 in for all the x values. And simplify. Negative 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 18 times negative 3, well, negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, so it's going to be minus 54. Then, of course, the minus 3 at the end. So, negative 57 plus 27 should be negative 30. I really should say k there. That means that the vertex is the coordinate negative 3, negative 30. And notice that this is, in fact, going up because the leading coefficient is positive. So if we were to graph this, it would look something like this. And it's going up, left 3, down 30, so it's going up. And so it does, in fact, have x-intercepts. So this is kind of one way of seeing if it has an x-intercept or not. As for the axis of symmetry, which I will label as AOS, it's always x equals the x-coordinate of the vertex, because it is a vertical line that goes through the vertex. Awesome. Now let's look at letter D. Letter D is to find the x-intercepts. So, to do so, we have to set the function equal to 0, which we have 3x squared plus 18x minus 3 equal to 0. And here's the thing. We probably can't factor this, because even if I bring this 3 over here, that makes 9. Nothing multiplies to 9 and has a difference of 18. It just doesn't work. So I can't factor this. That means I must use the quadratic formula. If I plug in A is 3, B is 18, and C is negative 3, that's going to give me certain values. And once I use that in the quadratic formula, if I use x equals negative b, which is negative 18, again, quadratic formula is this. And then plus or minus the square root of 18 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 3. all over 2 times 3. And we have to be very careful. Make sure that this goes all the way over this over here. The entire thing has to be in the numerator. And then you just type it in. Or, as I prefer to use, just use the program in the calculator. So program, and then quad. A is 3, B is 18, C is -3. Make sure it's a -3 and not -3, please. And here's what it gives me. X equals -6.1622, yes, that just said 227766, comma, and then the other one is 0.1622, yes, again, we got lucky for another 22, 776602. Awesome. So what we can do is we can round this to how many ever decimal places that we need. In this case, let's just round it to 2. If the My Math Lab says something else, go to that decimal place. So your 2 x-intercepts will be -6.16 and 0.16. We love the quadratic formula program. All right. For the last one, to find the y-intercept, the x is always 0. So we're going to plug in 0 for all those x's. But notice that that's 0, that's 0. You're just left with that -3 at the end. That means y equals -3. And of course, that's probably what My Math Lab is going to want. If I was to do this, I would ask for 0, -3. But My Math Lab is what we're getting graded on, so there you go. Alrighty. Well, that is... Okay, so let me go ahead and clear this. Let's go ahead and go to y equals. I'll clear out the previous example. We have on this one 3x squared plus 18x minus 3. And then you can graph this, but zoom 6. But we really don't see the entire graph on the calculator because it has to go down here to like -30. So let's change our window. -10 and 10 is fine, but we need to make sure that -30 is for our minimum. So let's go to make that -40. What did I do? Oh, I forgot the negative. -40. There we go. Awesome. So there's the parabola. Now, to use the program, let's go to program and then click on quad, or just click number 2, and then click enter. A here is 3, B is 18, C is -3. Now make sure it's -3, not -3. There you go. I'm kind of curious. I don't think it works, but I just want to see. So 3, 18, I'm fairly confident it's going to give me an error. Yep, syntax. So it says, here's the problem. So if I do negative and click enter, it works now. Alrighty. That's pretty much all I do on the calculator. I'll see you in the next video. Have fun.